Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Tonight we have Kesh Prabhuji reciting in Sanskrit and Ketida Mataji reciting in English. We will be reciting from Canto 3, Chapter 26, verses 16 to 29. Girish Prabhuji, whenever you're ready, please start with the invocations. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, are you there? Ketida Mataji, Hare Krishna. It looks like they haven't joined yet. Can we have volunteers, please, so we can start? Somebody for Sanskrit and somebody for English.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I can try Mataji till Prabhuji joins, if that's okay.
Yes, Mataji. Would you like English or Sanskrit?
I can try in Sanskrit, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone for English, or I can do it myself? Okay, let's start, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 26, Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Mataji, are we reading from text 1? Sorry.
Oh, no. From 16, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. If you can.
Yes.
Kindly. Thank you. Prabhavan Paurusham Prahu Kalame Yato Bhayam Ahankara Vimudasya Kartu Prakriti Miyushaha.
The influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the time factor, which causes fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul who has contacted material nature.
प्रकृतेर्गुणासामस्य निर्विशेष्यस्य मानवी चेष्टा यतः स भगवान् काल इत्युपलक्षितः.
My dear mother, O daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, the time factor, as I have explained, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom the creation begins as a result of the agitation of the neutral, unmanifested nature.
अन्तःपुरुषरूपेण कालरूपेण यो बहिः समन्वेतेश सत्त्वानां भगवानात्म मायया.
By exhibiting his potencies, the Supreme Personality of Godhead adjusts all these different elements, keeping himself within as the supersoul and without as time.
दैवात् क्षुतुभिः धर्मिण्यां स्वस्यां यो नो परपुमान् आधत्त वीर्यं सासुत महत्तत्त्वं हिरण्मयम्.
After the Supreme Personality of Godhead impregnates material nature with his internal potency, material nature delivers the sum total of the cosmic intelligence, which is known as Hiranmaya. This takes place in material nature when she is agitated by the destinations of the conditioned souls.
विश्व आत्मगतं व्यञ्जन् कुटस्थो जगत् अङ्कुरः स्वतेजसा पिबति व्रतामप्रस्वापनं तमः.
Thus, after manifesting variatedness, the effulgent Mahat Tattva, which contains all the universes within itself, sorry, which is the root of all cosmic manifestations and which is not destroyed at the time of annihilation, swallows the darkness that covered the effulgence at the time of dissolution.
यत्तत् सत्त्वगुणं स्वच्छं शान्तं भगवतः पदं यदाहुर्वासुदेवाख्यं चित्तं तन्महदात्मकम्.
The mode of goodness, which is the clear, sober status of understanding the personality of Godhead, and which is generally called Vasudeva or consciousness, becomes manifest in the Mahatattva.
स्वच्छत्वम् अविकारित्वं शान्तत्वम् इति चेतसः वृत्तिभिर्लक्षणं प्रोक्तं यतापां प्रकृति परा.
After the manifestation of the Mahatattva, these features appear simultaneously as water in its natural state. Before coming in contact with earth is clear, sweet, and unruffled. So the characteristic traits of pure consciousness are complete serenity, clarity, and freedom from distraction.
महत्तत्त्वद्विकुर्वाणात् भगवद्वीर्यसम्भवात् क्रियाशक्तिरहङ्कारस्त्रिविधः सम्पदायत वैकारिकस्तैजस् च तामसश्च यतो भावः मानसाचेन्द्रियाणां च भूतानां महतामपि.
The material ego springs up from the Mahatattva, which evolved from the Lord's own energy. The material ego is endowed predominantly with active power of three kinds: good, passion, and ignorant. It is from these three types of material ego that the mind, the senses of perception, the organs of action, and the gross elements evolve.
सहस्रशिरसं साक्षात् यम् अनन्तां प्रकक्षते सङ्कर्षणाख्यं पुरुषं भूतेन्द्रियमनोमयम्.
The threefold Ahankara, the source of the gross elements, the senses, and the mind, is identical with them because it is their cause. It is known by the name of Sankarsana, who is directly Lord Ananta with 1,000 heads.
कर्तृत्वं करणत्वं च कार्यत्वं चेति लक्षणम् शान्तघोरविमुक्तात्वम् इति वास्यादहङ्कृते.
This false ego is characterized as the doer, as an instrument, and as an effect. It is further characterized as serene, active, or dull according to how it is influenced by the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Vaikarit विकुर्वाणान् मानस्तत्त्वमजायत यत्सङ्कल्पविकल्पाभ्यं वर्तात् कामसम्भवः.
From the false ego of goodness, another transformation takes place. From this evolves the mind, whose thoughts and reflections give rise to desire.
यद्विदुर्य अनुरुद्धाख्यं ऋषिकाणाम् अधीश्वरं सारादेवरस्या मां सम्राध्यं युगिभिसनः.
The mind of the living entity is known by the name of Lord Aniruddha, the supreme ruler of the senses. He possesses a bluish black form resembling a lotus flower growing in the autumn. He is found slowly by the yogis.
तेजसा तु विकुर्वाणाद् बुद्धितत्त्वम् अद्भुत्सति द्रव्यस्पृहाविचानाम् इन्द्रियाणाम् अनुग्रह.
By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth. O virtuous lady, the functions of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into view and to help the senses.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Vamsi Dhari, Prabhuji. Are you here? I think Prabhuji will join us soon. Can someone please do the prayer and we can at least read the verses until then?
What prayers we have to do, Mataji? Is it Mangalacharan?
No, it's Vamsidhari Prabhuji. I just need a moment to call him. While someone can do the prayers, we can just sing the Mangalacharan until then.
I'll do it, Mataji. Shall I do it?
Yes, please, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Agnanantatimirandasya Nananjana Salakaya Chakshura Olmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Thapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivatpadam Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Shagrajatan Shagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadetam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kantu Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hari Bol. Prabhuji, you're here?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, I'm here.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll make you host now.
Thank you so much. You can still share the screen, which is good enough. So I'll begin. I think you've already done the prayers, but I need to do some prayers for my own purification. So please give me a few minutes for these prayers, and then we can discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Agyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरिवा सहिष्णुना अमानी नामानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि. जन्मादीयसे यतः अन्वयादितरः तच्च अर्थेषु अभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदं यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो अमृषः धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि सत्यं परं धीमहि. धर्म प्रोजित कैतवो अत्र पुंसो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवादं त्रापत्रयोन्मूलम्. श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परेरीश्वरे सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यते अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रुभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबतं भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकभुवि भावुकः. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हयभद्राणि विदनोति श्रुहित्सताम्. वासुदेवे भगवती भक्तियोगप्रयोजितः ज्ञानतीयशु वैराग्यं ज्ञानं च यत् अहेतुकम्. यस्यं वै श्रूयमानानं कृष्णे परमपुरुषे भक्तिरुत्पाद्यते पुंसा शोकमोह भय अपः. So thank you all for having me and thank you all for joining. So let's just read the 16th, 17th and 18th, the Sanskrit, the translation, and then we can discuss. I think you've already recited these verses, but there is no loss or diminution in reciting Bhagavatam verses again. प्रभावं पौरुषं प्राहु कालम् एके यतो भयम् अहंकार विमुद्धस्य कर्तुस् प्रकृतिम् आयुषः. Translation. The influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is felt in the time factor, which causes the fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul who has contacted material nature. Verse number 17. प्रकृतेर्गुणसंयस्य निर्विशेषस्य मानवी चेष्टा यतः स भगवान् काल इति उपलक्षितः. Translation. My dear mother, O daughter of Swayambhuv Manu, the time factor, as I have explained, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom the creation begins as a result of the agitation of the neutral, unmanifested nature. Verse 18, with last verse of today. अंतः पुरुष रूपेण काल रूपेण यो बहि समन्वेति एष सत्त्वानां भगवान आत्ममायया. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. By exhibiting his potencies, the Supreme Personality of Godhead adjusts all these different elements, keeping himself within as the super soul and without as the time. So these three set of verses, they are specifically depicting basically what's happening is 24 elements, they are being described in the previous chapter, which is glories of devotional service. Mother Devahuti had asked three questions to Kapila Dev, who is actually the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And while glorifying the devotional service in that chapter, this next two remaining questions were about Jnana and Yoga from Mother Devahuti. So in this chapter, Kapil Dev starts to answer about Jnana. And while he's mentioning, Jnana is essentially, initial Jnana is about Purusha, Prakriti, and then Jiva. These are the three. There are 5 subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. Of these, the first 3 is what Kapil Dev also starts to describe. How is the interaction between Jiva and Prakriti, Prakriti and Purusha, Purusha and Jiva, like that. And then from verses, I think from 9 to 49 onwards, Kapil Dev is then describing the different aspects of this pradhana, or basically he is going to go into Sankhya philosophy, specifically giving knowledge about the different elements that exist. So Sankhya philosophy is usually the knowledge of the material elements. So there are 24 material elements. 24 material elements being 5 sense object and senses, like that. And then there are 4 unmanifested or subtle elements like mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness, which is also called chitta. So these are 4, and then 5, 10, 15, and then there are 5 sense objects and 5 senses. Am I right? 5 gross and 5 gross elements. That's right. So 10 senses, 5 gross elements, 4 subtle elements. Like that, it becomes total 24. So after 24 elements, there is the 25th element, which is the time factor. And in these verses 16, 17, and 18, time factor has been described. So here Kapil Dev is explaining that actually Krishna is the time factor. And Bhagavad Gita also, there is a very amazing, devotees often don't so much relish the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is like the universal form of the Lord. The 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains a lot of the vibhutis or his opulences. I am this Arjun, I am that Arjun, I am this and I am this. Among fishes, I am shark. Among Pandavas, I am Arjun. Among wielders of weapon, I am Ram. So Krishna is mentioning all his most prominent vibhutis or opulences in the 10th chapter. And then Arjun is accepting all of those vibhutis because he has also heard from other authentic spiritual teachers like Vyasdev, Narad Muni, and Devala. So all of these great Rishi Munis had also affirmed that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He had all these vibhutis. In spite of all of that, in the 11th chapter, nonetheless, Arjun says, okay, show me. Show me. All that you have said, show it to me. Because he knew that in future some rascals will come and they will say that we are God, and they will not be able to show all of this. And Arjun doesn't demand. He requests Krishna. And because Arjun is a pure devotee of Krishna, Krishna says he will grant him this vision. So now, as Arjun is going through his experience of actually seeing Krishna in this Virat Rupa or universal form, he is first struck with wonder because he sees in the belly of Krishna, he sees all the unlimited planets, universes, Adityas, all the different living entities of the higher planetary systems, not of this universe, unlimited universes. So first he's struck with wonder. So imagine someone is shown such a vast and unlimited form with a vision. So as he's trying to see all of this, he's seeing this universal form of the Lord, in whose belly all this creation is happening, all these Adityas and Marut Ganas and everyone is there. And as he's seeing, then he comes to the form of time. So in this Vishwarupa form, in that chapter, you don't just see the Vishwarupa, you also see Kala Rupa. So till the time Arjun was seeing the Vishwarupa, he was in wonder and in amazement. But as soon as he is moving towards Kala Rupa, time element, he is stuck with fear, because he sees in that Kala Rupa was a very ghastly form of the Lord. See, everything has a form. Time cannot be seen, it can be perceived, and actually there is also a form of time. And the form of time is a very disturbing form, but it is also very rare form. It can't be seen or by anyone here. Only Krishna can give you the vision to see. So when Arjun saw this, he saw that, oh my God, all the warriors are getting crushed in the teeth of this time Kala Rupa. It is a very fearful form, very fearful form. Because of this fearful form, Arjun's mind was very disturbed. His mind became very disturbed. Imagine warrior like Arjun whose mind is disturbed. So essentially, that Kala Rupa is a very dangerous form, but that form is also of Krishna only. And this is what is exactly mentioned here. Kapil Dev is repeating that Kala Rupa is actually Krishna. It is a form of a god. And this form of the god, it has two main characteristics. What are the two main characteristics of time? Anyone knows? You can unmute and you can answer. Two main characteristics of time. And when Krishna is describing the opulences of himself in 10th chapter, Krishna repeats time twice.
Is it death,
So what?
Prabhuji?
Death
Death?
is and death, correct, Mataji? It's an outcome. But what is the destruction? Destruction is the characteristic of time. Destruction meaning death. There is one more characteristic of time. Any
Prabhuji,
thoughts?
is time irreversible? You
Time
can't,
is yes,
obviously
time.
can't go back in time.
Yes, that is true. That is also true. But that is not the main characteristic of the time. Destruction or dissolution is one such characteristic which refers to the outcome of death. But there is one more one more characteristic which is very prominent with regards to time. No one? No guesses? Irreversibility was a good thought.
Is it time? I mean, there's growth along with time, isn't there? I mean, along with destruction, as you mentioned.
Okay, you're getting towards the answer.
I'm not sure.
Okay, good attempt. Thank you so much, Mataji. The second characteristic and very important characteristic of time is time subdues, minimizes. So one time is a destructor, second time is a subduer. Do you remember, someone was very famous in 70s? Are they famous still now? No. So their fame has been subdued. Wealth could be subdued. Everything that someone has will be subdued in a short period of time. So they say, right, someone is right at least twice a day, because the hands of the so even a wrong person will be right at least twice a day. So everything gets subdued as the time passes, and everything gets destroyed as the time passes. Similarly, super soul has many characteristics. Of them, four are prominent, but two are very prominent. Super soul, because you all are on the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, of course you all know super soul. So what are the two main characteristics of a super soul?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Is it inside is super soul, Atma, Paramatma, And outside is spiritual master. Is that right?
That is not the characteristic of a super soul. No.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is
I,
Upadrashta and Anumanta.
what does that mean in plain English?
It means that, it is uh, it allows us it is he's watching us like in and Anumanta and whatever we have done he's reminding us
Uh,
Anumanta he's giving us opportunities to do whatever desires were
okay.
according to
So
our
wonderful, Mataji. Thank you so much
sorry
for answering.
thank you.
Beautiful. So Mataji directly read the purport, huh? Mataji, good one. Directly she picked it up from purport. Hanumanta and Upadrishta. So Upadrishta means overseer. This word Drishta is everywhere in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. That's the root word, Drishta. Drishta, Drishti, Upadrishta. This word you will come again and again. So here he is Upadrishta, means Upa means bigger, and Drishta means seer. So what is bigger seer mean? It's literally means overseer. So Krishna oversees all our activities. And then Anumanta. Anumanta means to give Anumati, which means to give permission, which means he is a sanctioner. He sanctions all our activities. When he doesn't want us to drink water, no matter how much you try to or you want to drink water, you won't be able to drink water. It will come into your mouth and you will vomit it out. And this we have seen many times in old patients, young patients. When Krishna is upset, when Paramatma doesn't permit, you can't accept anything. So the two main characteristic of the super soul is Upadrishta and Anumanta. So he gives Anumati, he gives permission, he is the sanctioner, and he's overseeing everything. So he's the Upadrishta. So Krishna is basically within us. Krishna is situated the super soul, and outside us, Krishna is present in his impersonal form as time. And with time, everyone is fearful because that form of Krishna is very fearful. Arjun saw it. So therefore, everyone is actually fearful of time. Why they are fearful of time is because time is a material. Okay, let me ask you this question. Time, is it material or is it spiritual? Is time material or is time spiritual?
Is it material?
Okay. Does it exist in spiritual world?
No.
No. Are you 100% sure, Mataji?
That's what I think I heard, because there's no time limit, anything like that.
Correct. Well done, Mataji. So in spiritual world, time does not exist. When I say time does
Yeah.
not exist, it means time is absence. The specific language used in Srimad Bhagavatam is time is conspicuous by its absence, which means that if Mother Yashoda desires that she wants to wake Krishna up, or if the Gopas desire that it should be daytime and we should play with Krishna, then suddenly the day happens. Suddenly the effect of time is felt. But the effect of time is felt only when there is a desire for devotional service there. That's very opposed to material world, where there is a desire of spiritual service, but everything has to come inside the realm of times. You have to get up on time, you have to go do pujari on time, so everything comes under this realm of time. So this time, which is Kala Rupa and Vishwarupa, they are temporary manifestations and they are material manifestations. So someone who is in material consciousness is very much afraid of time. Very much afraid of time. Why they are afraid of time? Because time itself is material, and people are fearful that they will lose their false egos. Whatever accumulation they have done, whatever identities or upadhis they have done throughout their life. Everyone collects upadhi, no matter who they are. They all collect. We all collect upadhis or positions and designations through our work, through our relationships, through our associations. Sometimes people say, "Oh, such a nice person. He helped me in my bad time." Again, there is an upadhi there that this person is a nice charitable person and helps other people. Someone tries to destroy this upadhi, you will be hurt. Someone says, oh, no, he's very rude person, didn't help me, then you had created your own upadhi and now you are hurt by your own self. So the real distress comes from upadhis or positions. And these positions are the first symptoms of false ego. And false ego is destroyed with time. When the soul has to go out back to the spiritual world, there are 8 layers the soul has to pass through, and each layer is 1,000 times thicker than the previous layer. So, the first 5 layers are the gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then the next 3 elements are subtle elements: mind, intelligence, and the last layer is false ego. And the false ego is the last layer because it's the thickest layer. Very, very thick, very difficult to get out of the false ego. So therefore, why everyone is fearful of time? Because time will result in destruction. It will result in death, in material death. And with material death, your very hard created upadhis, designations will be destroyed. Very hard created, and your false ego will be left without it being catered for. Then you have to take another body. And therefore, a lot of people worry around the time of death. They are fearful around the time of death because all the upadhis, all the material collections they have done, they are going to go. So this is what these 3 purports are especially focusing on, is that the God or Krishna, he is present. There is also one important point mentioned, is how the material manifestation came about. See, whatever is mentioned here in this chapter, this verse, specifically the verse number 17, this is repeated again in the beginning of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where uh, Parikshit Maharaj, he asked a question. In the 7th canto, the pastime of Narsingadev was spoken, and Parikshit Maharaj was amazed. And so in the beginning of 8th canto, he is full of love for Krishna, and he tells Shukdev Goswami, tell me everything about all incarnations of Krishna, doesn't matter under which Manu it happened. From beginning Manu to end Manu, 14th Manu, tell me about all incarnations of Krishna. I want to know everything about Krishna. That's how the 8th canto begins. And Shukdev Goswami, but and then there is also an inquiry that how it seems that that Krishna, I think this is in the beginning of 7th canto. The inquiry is that Krishna is partial to the demigods, and not so much partial with and he doesn't help demons. So Parikshit, Sukdev Goswami starts to explain to Parikshit Maharaj that this is not the case. Actually, the thing is, there is something called Mahat Tattva, which is also called Pradhana, which is the primordial substance. It is an inactive substance. First, Krishna glances at this Pradhana, and then what happens is there is injection of gunas into this Pradhana, and then there is injection of time element into this Pradhana. So it's very, very beautifully explained there that there is injection of gunas into the Pradhan. First, there is the glance of the Lord, then there is injection of gunas, then there is injection of time. And with the injection of time, what happens is, as soon as the time is injected, the first thing which becomes very prominent is the mode of goodness. So therefore, you see that when the Yuga cycle starts, it starts with Sat Yuga, where the mode of goodness is highest. And there, the explanation given by Shukdev Goswami is, as the time is progressing, then what happens is this prominence of mode of goodness is diminishes as the time is progressing. And then towards the end, there is mode of darkness or mode of ignorance. It's very beautifully explained there. Here also, it is touched upon that the unmanifested state of material nature, pradhana, is being explained. Prabhupada is mentioning that the Lord glances over it, and then the whole material creation begins. But basically, Lord glances it, then the gunas enter, and then the time is injected. And when the time is injected into the gunas, into the Mahat Tattva, which has been glanced by the Lord, the first thing which becomes prominent is the mode of goodness. So Satyugas, so the time starts with the mode of goodness and ends in mode of darkness, and then the whole thing repeats. Um, Yeah, that is it. There are some very beautiful um, examples Prabhupada has given. One is, although the nipples of a goat's neck appears to be breast nipples, they do not give milk. Similarly, the material nature appears to the material scientist to act and react in wonderful manner, but in reality, it cannot act without the agitated time. So the material nature cannot act by itself. Time has to be injected into it, which is again repeated in the further cantos. And time is actually the representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna says many times, I am Kalosmi, that I am time. And Krishna is also shown to Arjuna the form of time. But in the material world, we can't see it. And it is an impersonal form. And it always acts in the material realms. It always acts. And therefore, it is very fearful to those who are in material consciousness. So with that, I stop. And if people have any questions, any thoughts, any suggestions, we can discuss. Just to give you some more insight, in earlier cantos, you must third canto. Maybe this comes in third or fifth canto. The divisions of time: anu, lamha, muhurta. So there are subdivisions of time. Nimish, you have heard Nimish Matrena. So Nimish means blinking of eyes. The time that is within the blinking of an eyes is called a Nimish. Hmm? And then, so all these subdivisions of time, actually, they were defined in Srimad Bhagavatam 5,000 years ago. But the modern scientists only calculated time 3,000 years ago. The modern scientists, the speed of light, the calculation of time, all of that was happening in Europe in the later centuries. But we already had all of these definitions documented well in advance many years ago. So any thoughts, any questions, any suggestions? No?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice
Hare,
class. My
Hare
question is
Krishna.
not regarding to this topic, but someone asked me that
Okay.
when people leave this body, why they have to suffer? Why Krishna made them suffer? Like they said, they have to go through the fire and things like. I don't know, is it true or not? But they said Krishna is very merciful, and why do we have to suffer? Or some people suffer when they die.
Okay, Mataji, I have to say that there is suffering before you die, and there could be suffering after you die. Just literally few months ago, I have seen my father pass away at the age of 67, and he passed away in front of me, and he also had to undergo some suffering.
Sorry.
And he could have lived longer, but I saw in front of my eyes firsthand what a suffering feels like. So, and then also after the death, there could be suffering, Mataji. Depending on what kind of bhakti you're doing. Are you doing karma mishrit bhakti? Are you doing pure devotional service, Shuddha bhakti? Or you're, there is if someone doesn't do Shuddha bhakti, they can do bhakti wherein they do sadhana bhakti. And for someone who is not even doing proper sadhana bhakti, they are doing something called as sannyasa yukta yoga. Sannyasa yukta yoga is basically, what Rupa Goswami says is, utilize everything for the service of Krishna. There is no need to give up things of the material world, but use everything that you have in the service of Krishna. So that is sannyasa yukta yoga. So there, some people are doing that. I'm speaking of within the ISKCON movement, right? And then some people are actually also doing, they can't do that also. So, whatever they get in the house, they are not offering it to Krishna. So then what they do is they do charity then. Whatever money they have, or whatever services they can, they try and do some charity. And those people who can't even do that, they do yoga and meditation. And those people who can't even do that, they do collection of knowledge. They read and they try to gain knowledge. So these are the different hierarchies of people. Now, depending on where you are in this ladder, or where you are in this hierarchy, whether you are walking towards Shuddha Bhakti, or whether you are on Sadhana Bhakti. If you are in these two stages, Mataji, walking towards Shuddha Bhakti, or if you are doing Sadhana Bhakti, see, to do Sadhana Bhakti, you need time, you need desire to chant and do sadhana, whatever sadhana is, and you need to follow the process. Okay. So a lot of people say we don't have time, then they don't want to follow process, and then they also, they don't have health sometimes to do this all these things. But if you are able to do sadhana, Mataji, then you are technically on the path of pure devotional service. So those people who are technically on the path of pure devotional service, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that people pass away in this world. Now I'm speaking after death, okay? Krishna says, in this material world, people pass away either in light or in dark. So those people pass in dark, they pass in the later 6 months of the year. And those people who pass away in light is from Uttarayan, which means Makar Sankranti, to next 6 months. Then within that time, whether you pass away in the later months or in the earlier months, you may be passing away during the daytime, or you may be passing away during the night time. If you pass away during the night time, then you are going to lower planetary systems. If you pass away during the daytime, you are going to upper planetary systems, heavenly planets, possibly other, maybe to spiritual planets. So but Krishna describes this passing away during the Uttarayan and Dakshinayan, and during the light time of the day or the dark time of the day. And he mentions all of these things for people who are not at the level of sadhana bhakti, for the people who are lower than the area of sadhana bhakti. Those who are doing sadhana bhakti properly with the aim of attaining pure devotional service, Shuddha Bhakti, Krishna says it doesn't matter what time of the day are born, whether they are dead, they die during an accident, or they die normal death, whatever be the situation, I will take care of them. So whether you die 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, or whether you die Mangal Arti time, or you die 12 o'clock in the night, if you have done your sadhana properly, if you have done your bhakti properly throughout your life, then Krishna has promised this in Bhagavad Gita for this category of people who are walking towards Shuddha Bhakti, is to actually, he will take care of them and he will take them back home, or he will take care of them and he'll give them good birth. But now I'm telling you that every devotee they have accumulated bags of karma. In Bhagavad Gita, in last chapter, Krishna says, do not worry, I'll take care of you. Whatever sins you have accumulated, don't worry, I'll burn it off. Krishna uses those sins to give us lessons so that we can mature as a devotee. And actually, see, if we are fighting throughout our life here in this material world, suddenly we are not going to go to spiritual world and be a very happy person, peaceful person, nice person, not fight with anyone. That's not going to happen. If we have grudges here, if we can't speak to some person here because we have not forgiven them, then we can't be nice, forgiving person there in the spiritual world, where even higher qualities are expected of us. So therefore we can't go there. But nonetheless, we have performed sadhana bhakti, we have performed everything, we have done the right things, but we still don't. So Krishna uses some of this karma towards our death time to actually show you your whole life, because at the time of death, in a moment, the whole reel of your life will come in front of you, including the time where you have cheated someone, or where you have been nice person, including the Rath Yatra that you attended, and the experience you really felt good, relating with Krishna. All the things will come to of your life will come to you in a reel like that. So at that time, you go through a lot of realizations at the time of death. You're not able to speak to anyone, but Krishna says that those who constantly serve me with love, tesam evanu kampartam aham ajnana jam tamah. At that point in time, whatever ignorance is accumulated in your heart, Krishna will come with a shining lamp of knowledge, and he will give you the memory to see all of these things that you've done in the life, and possibly you will regret on some of the bad things you could have done, or some of the things you shouldn't have done. So he'll use last pieces of suffering. See, suffering is a great teacher if you understand this. If you undergo some suffering, then you are a great learner. Lot of the devotees, when they are in difficult times, they become very good devotees. Very good devotees. As soon as the difficult time is gone, then they become peaceful devotees. Peaceful devotees. So at the time of death, you are in certain difficulty, and at that time your remembrance of Krishna increases, and your surrender to Krishna also increases. So Krishna wants that. And at the time of death, when your remembrance, surrender, and even your qualities that you have had, in the good qualities that you had in the heart, if you become grateful, you have gratitude, then these are the things which attract the mercy of Krishna. Then based on that, Krishna takes you to the next destination. For sure, you're always under the embrace of the Lord. For normal people, it is said Deviya Netrena, which means under the divine vision, one soul is put into another body. But for devotees, it is not Deviya Netra, it is Krishna's embrace. It is under the direct supervision of Krishna that you will take your next destination. If you are not ready for spiritual world, but you have followed sadhana bhakti and everything, then you could be put into another material universe, or another place where pastimes of Krishna is going on, and you will be learning, you will be getting trained as to how to serve Krishna in original spiritual world. So you might take birth in Bhauma Vrindavan, or you might take birth in another universe, another planet where pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan are going on, like that. But if you have not even reached to that stage, then you will be born again in the material world, and you may not be born in Vrindavan, but you will still be born in the house of devotees. If you're not born in the house of devotees, you will be born in the house of very rich people, or brahmanas with good qualities, so that you can continue the process of devotional service. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also. Hmm? That Srimatam Gehe, he says that those people, they will be. Arjuna asks, what happens to the people who have not completed their practice of devotional existence, or not completed their spiritual practice? And Krishna says they will get birth in the family of Brahmanas. But a devotee has to go through some suffering sometimes. See, there is a very famous saying, Dukh mein Hari sab bhaje, sukh mein bhaje na koe. Sukh mein agar Hari bhaje, to dukh kahe ko hoye. This Prabhupada also quotes. So the real question is, are you doing the process of devotional service nicely, sincerely, and what I should say, with connection? With connection. So if you're doing it with connection to the Lord, then you can be very peaceful at the time of death. There may be some pain, but it's not the pain what other people experience. The real question is, are you chanting your rounds nicely? Are you spending your time? Lot of the people who grow up in their life, see, first, Prahlad Maharaj explains this very, very beautifully in seventh canto. He says the first 20 years of life are just gone in childhood. Then in the youth, most of the time is gone in finding the couple, finding the partner, right? And half of the time in life actually is gone in sleeping, because 8 to 9 hours people sleep. And then the old age time is gone because the body is troubling you too much, and therefore your half the focus of the mind is, okay, did I drink my tea properly, my digestion is going on right, my hands are not paining, there is no pain in my neck. So you can't do properly all the nice devotional services because the body is giving you a lot of trouble. So when is the good time to do devotional service? Then there is very little time to do proper devotional service, very, very little time. That is also in your youth. And because in that youth also, if you are, after making money, just sex life, just bodybuilding, then you have not spent any time accumulating bhakti. Sangrahan means to accumulate bhakti points. So question is, are you accumulating bhakti points? If you are doing what your side of the thing is to be done, then you should not worry about whether you will get pain in your old age or not. Everyone is going to get pain in old age, no matter who. If Prabhupada also had pain in the old age. But Prabhupada was super old. But when he was brought into temple, his consciousness was fully alert. That is the real gift of devotional existence. Devotees' consciousness, it's very high. Even when they have lot of material problems, lot of bodily problems, because they have done very high quality devotional service throughout their lives, their consciousness is very high. My father, when he passed away, his all bodily parts were going down, but his ears were on. And every time I spoke to him, and we recited Bhagavad Gita to him, and we said, "Are you listening?" He always tried to tell us he was listening. He couldn't lift his head. He couldn't. He tried to open his eyes. He tried to do something with his forehead. So we got signals that yes, he's listening constantly. So the point really is, the real gift is your consciousness to a high degree or not, and that will really depend on your practices on a day to day. In fact, Krishna has promised, even if someone has no consciousness at the time of death, I will take care of them, provided they have practiced devotional service throughout their life properly. Okay, so pain is not going to go. But do you suffer from the pain? That is up to you. My Guru Maharaj always says, pain is compulsory, suffering is optional. Does it answer your question, Mataji, hopefully?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Nicely explained. Thank you so much. Very nicely explained.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's a very common question when you talk to anybody in the public sector or even amongst devotees. Because I do book distribution, and almost everybody asks me that. Where is God? If God was there, why are we suffering? Why are children suffering? And so on. I just was wondering, is it Krishna who is giving us pain? Because we are doing our own, setting our own journey by what we do, our actions. When you think about um you know everybody, no matter who it is, they know what is good and bad. We were taught from young, and we know what is good, which is sinful, and so on. So we pave our own way, I think, and then we pay a price. It could be when you're dying, or before, or after you will suffer. So I don't know if Krishna. You see, this is the biggest problem. They say Krishna is doing it. Krishna doesn't want you to suffer. Krishna is a loving father, so he's going to give you everything and love you despite all what you do, hoping that you come back to him. But we're the one who cause ourselves pains and suffering.
This is true, Mataji. We are the source of our own suffering. But then the suffering, when the day you start following the path of Krishna consciousness, sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will take care of your sins or sufferings that is bound to destined to come to you. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashami ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha. Do not fear. Do not worry. So the day devotee surrenders to Krishna, and the devotees may have a huge backlog, of the sins. It is said that as soon as someone takes one pure name of Krishna, then all the sins are destroyed. But the problem is the tendency to sin doesn't get destroyed. So we continue to sin, we continue to do things which are not. So the sins are always getting accumulated, even in the body of a devotee. who is not perfect, the sins are getting accumulated, and Krishna will take charge of the sins for devotees. For non-devotees, I explained this ladder of existence, right? Shuddha bhakti, sadhana bhakti, then sannyasa yukta yoga, and then karma mishrit bhakti, jnana mishrit bhakti. So any limb of bhakti, Krishna is taking increasing interest. But if it is pure jnana, if it is pure karma, if it is not even that, then Krishna is lesser and lesser and lesser involved. And, Maya Devi is more and more involved, essentially. So when we say this statement that we are responsible for our own sufferings, it's true. And, does Krishna give us the suffering? And the answer to that question is, which part of this ladder are you in? If you are not any part of this ladder, then your suffering is administered to you by Maya Devi. But if you are part of this ladder, then your suffering is administered to you by Krishna in proportion to what is needed for you to come back to him. And this is what I'm saying. Suffering is not bad. Krishna is all loving father. This is how we want to relate to Krishna. Krishna is all loving. Krishna is always giving us everything, and loves us the most. He will care for us. Yes, true, but a portion, a part of the care, a regular part of caregiving is also to actually make the person go through um, some difficult work in their chore, so that actually they can become fine-tuned, fine refined. And therefore Kunti mother also prays that, look, you were present with us, we had all the sufferings in the material world. While you were present with us, there was no problem. Whatever suffering came to us, whatever pain came to us, as long as you were there, we were all still happy. But for devotees, as soon as the pain comes, we say, oh, this is not Krishna, this is my thing. Yes, it is your thing. And who knows, Krishna is giving it to you. Do you have perception and vision to actually see that what he wants you to learn from this? Because that is the main human challenge of human evolution, is to transform ourselves. And no soul wants to get transformed. We just want to be in the rut of our lives. And um, Guru Maharaj always explains that every situation, every suffering that comes is actually an opportunity. It's an opportunity to see what Krishna wants us to learn and how he wants us to transform. If we develop this vision, if we develop this lens, which is very difficult lens, only Mother Kunti had it, and possibly a lot of devotees have it. If we develop this lens, then whatever suffering we go through, we see that it has a purpose. It may be sent to us from Krishna for purpose, on purpose, for us to transform. And we become even more grateful to Krishna. Even in that suffering, we become more connected, we become more joyous, and therefore, we say that the pain is compulsory, but suffering is optional. When the pain comes and you remember Krishna, then the suffering is eliminated. In fact, in one place, Prabhupada is saying very literally that if you are in too much pain, you must chant Hare Krishna. And we have practically seen, Prabhupada says, we have practically seen just by chanting Hare Krishna, the material pain has subsided. So, sum and substance, for devotees, Krishna may send some pain. And Krishna is merciful even in sending that. Because what if he didn't send it to us? We will never change. We will never actually, it will delay our existence here in the material world. I hope,
Yes, you've
please
done
forgive,
very.
please forgive me for something I may have said left or right and not to the point.
Yeah, but it, as they say, when we in Krishna consciousness, we learn that you know, if you perform, good devotional, sincere from the heart, and you're consistent with it, you can wipe out these sins or wipe out your, you know, because we know what's wrong or and right, don't we? And the thing is, it's not only that you're giving these tests as it were, because you are actually, it's up to you what's the learning in it for you, isn't it? You got to learn from all the pains and the suffering, whatever comes your way. You got to learn from it. That's what Keshav Swami Maharaj always insists upon. What's the learning in it?
Hmm.
And how do you take that forward? You can You can learn for a moment and say, oh, yes, I know, because you read the Shastras, you have good association, you listen to each other. But the doing is not just a momentarily one, it's a consistent, sincere from the heart. And, you open your heart to Krishna. Krishna, that's all he wants. He doesn't. So, yeah, it's in the doing. I think that our actions are most important. But why is it we keep on doing the same thing? What's stopping us from?
Conditioning, Mataji.
Yeah.
Our determination is weakened, and because our determination is weakened, and because we are conditioned, we struggle. And the problem is, lot of the people or lot of the devotees may give up in this suffering and in this weakened state. But at least those devotees who are mentally praying that, no, this is not what I want to do, this is what I want to do, Krishna, for you, that humility and that gratitude has a potency to bring devotees out of such weakened state. And association, when they continuously pray, then Krishna gives them association, good association. And from good association you get strength. So you get only devotional strength only by two ways. One is good association, and second is by mercy of spiritual master. Once you have both, once you have either of them or both of them, you will suddenly see you will become stronger and stronger. And that strength is not yours. It's mentioned in towards the end of the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how by mercy of a spiritual master, the strength is infused into the disciple. And two things happen into a disciple. Is the very first thing is their determination becomes strong, and then they start to cut the attachments that they have built due to conditioning over a period of time, with the sword of knowledge and detachment. So this sword becomes sharpened by the blessings of the spiritual master and association of the devotees.
And I do like what you said about Prabhupada, because my guru also was in serious, serious pain that no human could endure. Yet, at the last moment, he was chanting, he was offering light, he was praying. And even when his guru told him, if it's too much, please don't have to chant, he said, please don't give me that instruction. On his deathbed, it was amazing. So it can be done, as you say.
Yeah, definitely it can be done. I saw it in front of my own eyes. I saw it with my father. I saw it with other great personalities. A lot of the sannyasis, do it often. But my father was a very ordinary, very small person in ISKCON. And by mercy of spiritual master, by very good association of devotees, I saw he had such a great transformation and a great benefit towards the end of his life. So I know for certain it can be done because I've seen it in front of my eyes.
Very Lord, thank you so much for taking time to explain it all.
Thank you, Mataji, for your beautiful question.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have few more minutes, 6 minutes. If we have no questions, then we can go early. Haribol. Thank you so much all for your association and your patience. Please forgive me if I've said something not in the line of disciplic succession or something that may have not been comfortable to hear. Hare Krishna.
Hare
One
Krishna.
second.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
so much,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Wonderful
Thank you so
class.
much for the wonderful
Thank
class,
you.
Prabhuji. Thank you so
Rashmi,
much.
Thank you for the
Thank you
wonderful
very
class.
much.
Thank you for the
Thank you,
wonderful
Prabhuji.
class.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna, everyone. Hare
Vancha
Krishna.
Pavanam
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavejo
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Antakoti
Anantakoti
Vaishnavendra ki
Vaishnavrinda
jai.
ki
Jai.
jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki jai.
jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari
Thank you so
Krishna.
much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.